Hey guys, Bad Girl Mystic here. So today, I'm going to talk to you about shadows. Untamed Tuesday. Part of healing trauma with coloring is that coloring's a wonderful way for you to do shadow work, to help process triggers, release the held tension in the connective tissue of your body that sends the neuro signals from your sensory system to your muscles, freezing them. So, for many of us who have childhood trauma from age 0 to 7, a reaction to a trigger is to freeze. So, we have all this wonderful new information about mind body medicine that was not around when in the 80s. I was 20 when I first started my search for anything besides the darkness that was swallowing me up inside, to the point where I had lost my desire to wake up the next day. And so I've done this journey for 30 plus years, and I truly do find coloring to be the most powerful tool I've come across for healing trauma. Janet Clapp, I believe her name is. I'll post it on my story. She's a wonderful account to follow on Instagram about trauma work, and she says you need to give your trauma a little something sweet. It's like you have to sweet talk those shadows so that they yield, they open up, and they yield the fruit of the information that you need to let go of this past habit of survival and install in a new value, a new reaction, a new habit based on your trust and knowledge that you have gained through your experiences in the now. So, in the beginning of Amy's book, in The Magical Planner 2020, she puts a paragraph on dark, light, and shadow selves. And I highlighted this one part spoke to me. They're unseen, often ignored parts of ourselves. Self-doubt, low self-esteem, jealousy, fear, addiction, unhealthy habits, stuckness. Whether you see shadows as she said, whether you see shadows as obscuring the light or the light as creating the shadows, this balance offers us the most powerful clues we have to our purpose and what we desire. So, know that darkness. Use that darkness. Acknowledge it. So what I'm going to share with you a little bit is how I use that darkness. And for myself, I shared in the previous videos, for me, there has been this trigger with this incident that's happened with one of our male neighbors, very big guy, being very physically assaulting a woman resident. So we're all kind of on eggshells, and you can feel the tension as everyone's waiting to see how this situation is going to resolve itself. The landlord gets back on Thursday. And we've done all the adult things that you do to, my husband and I talked about, just different things about my own safety when, around this situation, and what we would do or not do and things like that. All the grown-up shit that we don't like to do, my husband and I, but we know we have to do it. So we just buckle down and say, grown-up time. All right. So, and one of the colors for January is black, which is mystery and shadows and fear and death, which I now find it very interesting that this page I've been struggling with, I had a desire to do my first dark black background. I want it to be smoky and witchy, and I posted it yesterday and I couldn't leave it alone. So I did more glitter, more gold metallics. I just wanted to brighten it up a bit, but I also add a little black watercolor to the back and a little bit of black crayon to just intensify the black a little more. So yeah, I'm doing some deep shadow work right now. I'm aware that I'm triggered, and the way I can tell that I've been triggered by this situation is that there's a hypervigilance. And that habit of hypervigilance show was for myself, because everyone's trauma journey and shadow work is completely individual. The only formula is like loving yourself like crazy and being gentle through the shadow work. For myself, I know this hypervigilance developed from so that would be in the root years, age 0 to 7, what's called the imprint years, where everything that's happening in your environment is just imprinted onto your nervous system and your unconscious brain. And this is where we develop values and beliefs. So when that trigger comes up, that uneasiness, that shakiness, where I just feel rattled, is the way I put it to my husband last night. I know that it's from my root years, that this is an unconscious survival habit. And it's deep because there was a lot that occurred for me that was violent and abusive during those years. So, what I do is, like Janet Clapp says, you give it that something sweet, the gentleness and the lovingness, and coloring's a big part of that for me. So, I went ahead and added a seal finish to this page because I wanted to be complete with it. And I'm now good with it because I'm also understanding how my own unconsciousness of my own shadows, so much of that dark, not so pretty part of myself, the rebel and the anger and the fear and the sadness and all of those things, it's appearing in this. And I think this is, so now I'm able to embrace it a little more with my own shadow work. So now, next step is going to be this sweet little page right here. It's just a blank page. And I have my own, like, shadow formula I follow. So I think this is going to be a really good place for me to put this here. 2020 is definitely asking for the deepest parts of ourselves to be revealed and to be embraced and listened to. And the best way to, I used to try to push my triggers away and be a warrior and be stronger than the emotions. And I just end up trying to eat it away, fuck it away, dance it away. And when I had my brain injury, I was no longer able to divert my attention away from my trigger through doing something extremely physical. I have to watch my energy, watch my fatigue. So I had to think of a different suite for my shadows, and one where I could actually communicate and connect with my shadows. And that for me starts with music and dancing. So on Spotify, I have a playlist for the year I graduated 6th grade, the year I graduated 8th grade, the year I graduated high school. And then anything from the 90s was a really dark shadow period for me. So I'm good with, if I want to bring up some feelings and some emotions, that's how I do it. I go to the music that I love, the music that fed my soul through shadow years, and just let things come to the surface. And like I learned, we're taught in body work. You want to clear the top of the pool. You want to clear the leaves. You want to clear what comes up first. You don't want to push past that, trying to get to one root, one meat. This is where we scratch and tear at ourselves. And what we really need is a softer, gentler touch and patience with ourselves. All right. If you want to hear more about shadow work, let me know. Peace out. Mwah.